Alright, so over the past couple of years, Ducky has come out with a lot of limited edition keyboards and custom colorways, but none quite do it like this one, the OneofZero Iodine limited edition Ducky keyboard. These are going to be limited to 1,010 units worldwide, and it's going to be dropping on March 1st at 9:30 a.m. This keyboard is also a little bit pricey at $180 to $200. This might deter some people since it is quite a bit more than the regular version of the OneofZero, but you are getting a limited edition here with enthusiast grade switches. Bad Seed is also dropping a video on this, so make sure you check out his video as well. Now, they just didn't go with a new colorway on this keyboard, which looks fantastic by the way. They've also put something else inside of this that we've been asking for a long time. Now, they went ahead and put Zeal switches into these keyboards. That's right, we have enthusiast grade switches in this keyboard now. Before, we were limited to Cherry and Megs, which aren't bad by any means. There's the Gatoron, and they had Kale switches in the Duckies, and now we get Zeal switches. So it's nice to see that Ducky is expanding its range of switches. I hope that they continue with this even after this limited edition run. So they have the full range in here, from the Tilios, the 67 gram Zelioses. The ones I have on deck today are the Roselios 67 gram silent linears. I've never actually tried these before, so this is gonna be the first time for me and you both. These are heavier than Cherry MX reds or browns, so keep that in mind if you're switching over from a original Ducky 1.2 Mini or 1.2 SF. So can we talk about how beautiful this keyboard is? From the two-tone design with the light gray up top, the cool gray, and then you've got the Game Boy purple on the bottom, similar to what we've been seeing in some of the injection mold custom keyboards that have been coming out recently. I absolutely love this colorway, my favorite of any Ducky that's ever come out. Now, it's only coming in this purple color, so if you don't like purple, you're out of luck, but this is a beautiful keyboard. If you don't like it, you're probably tripping. On the casing, they have the 3-level kickstand feed, per usual, of a Ducky keyboard. Absolutely love that. If you are looking to customize the level of your keyboard, I like to have mine at the highest setting so I can really feel the edges of the keycaps. And then it's got the standard USB-C on the left-hand side. So the keycaps are double shot PBT, the same ones that we've been seeing from Ducky. They feel great. They're smoother than a lot of PBT keycaps out there, which I really like. People always get on me for saying this, but if I had to choose, like if I couldn't use GMK, I'd be using the Ducky PBT keycaps because they're my favorite, hands down. They've also added in these really nice artisan looking keycaps for your special row over here to the right, and then you've got the backspace and the enter key, as well as a space bar and the escape key. I really love the look of this. It's kind of like a black, purple, pink look, and it really emulates a artisan look on a stock keyboard. This is something that I've never seen on any stock keyboard, so this is truly a one of a kind. OneofZero did an amazing job on the design aspect of this keyboard. You can really tell that they've had custom keyboards before when designing this Ducky, and they've channeled a lot of that custom keyboard energy into this. Also, they've changed the plate from a white plate now to this purple plate, and like I said, this just does it for me. Even though you can't really see this in your day-to-day, it just looks so sick when you take off your keycaps. So you are losing a lot of RGB because these are not shine through PBT. Like I said, the plate isn't as white, so it's not going to shine as bright as the original 1.2 SF. So if you really like unicorn throw up all over your desk, you might be disappointed by this keyboard. When you do plug in this keyboard, it does have a factory setting of a white RGB, which I really like, and you can change this by holding the function Alt and T to cycle through the 11 different modes, just like on the original 1.2 SF. And if you do want to change that white lighting to something else, you have that ability, and everything is done on board. There's still no software for these. I know that's going to disappoint some people. Ducky, we're waiting. But until then, you can change all the macros and things like that using the custom commands. And if you want to see those, you can go back to my original 1.2 SF video. It's exactly the same. There's a little bit of a learning curve, but you can get used to it over time, and it becomes quite easy. They give you a list, a rundown of the things that you can program and what key presses to put. So if you want to do like volume along the right side, you can do that. Now, this is a 65% form factor, and one thing that really irks me about the Ducky, or one con about the Ducky, is that you cannot replace the keycaps because the alt and the function are not standard. So you're going to need like a GMK keycap set to put on this keyboard if you want it to fit. I think Ducky was supposed to start releasing their keycaps with these. I'm not sure if they have yet, but me personally, I would never change out the keycaps on this because they just look so good and they feel so good as well. So the housing on the Zeal switches is a little bit different here, as the bottom housing is now a milky look instead of the translucent. Now the original and these are both nylon, but these are PA66 PA66 because when Ducky was running it through the machinery, the PA66 can withstand the heat of the production line, whereas the original Zeal switches couldn't. So it's using the bottom housing at PA66 nylon, the same that you would find on a Cherry MX switch. So this is like a pseudo Zeal switch in my opinion. Now I did talk to Bad Seed and he compared his original Zeal switches to these switches on the limited edition, and he did say that they were a little bit scratchier, which I can see because if you're making something a little bit more temperature resistant, what's going to happen? They're going to be a little bit more rugged than the original, so that might add a little bit of scratchiness. Now the top housing, the stem, the spring, the leaf, everything else is the same as the original Zeal switches. It's just that that bottom is going to feel a little bit different. Now when you do press a stem down on a switch, what's going to happen? It's going to slide along the bottom housing, so it is going to change the feel of the Zeal switch. So it's not going to be exactly a one-to-one. Now I still think that these feel fantastic, but there is an asterisk as to whether this is a true Zeal switch. You guys let me know down in the comments. What do you think? Would you consider this a true Zeal switch, even though the bottom housing is a little bit different? Me personally, I think it kind of walks that fine line of what an actual true switch is. So if you're looking for a one-of-one with your original Zeal switches, you might be a little bit disappointed. But enough talking, let's drop a sound test so you guys can hear what the Roseliosis sound like. Aw, yeah. In my opinion, these blow away any Kale, Cherry MX, or Gatoron switch that you can buy currently from Ducky, but that's just me. So silent switches by their nature are a little bit thockier and a little bit scratchier than their regular linear counterparts, but that's okay. That comes with the territory of them being silent. I might actually have to pick some of these up to test it in a custom build. If I had to choose between any of them, I probably would go with the Zealios 67 grams because that's just me. I love Zealioses. The stabilizers have been lubed. The spacebar is the best one out of the bunch. The backspace and the enter key and the shift keys are a little rattly. Seems like it's an issue on the right side, so it might be something with the balance of the wire. Now this again isn't going to affect your gameplay, and it's most likely going to disappear out of your mind once you get going or typing or gaming or any of your daily activities. But for somebody that's built a lot of high-end customs now, I now listen to that sound. I'm super sensitive to it and I go out of my way to fix it, so when I go to stock keyboards, it just stands out to me so much. But for most people during your daily tasks, whether you're gaming, typing, or just browsing, it's going to disappear. You're not really going to notice it. There's a little bit of reverb that comes from the plate, but again, you're not going to really notice it. You really have to be looking for that to have an issue with it. All right, so these are running for about $180 to $200, depending on whether you get the silent or the regular switches. So keep that in mind. It is a little bit pricier, but you are getting the best Ducky, in my opinion, that has ever been made. You're getting a switch that's more expensive than Cherry MX, Gatoron, and Kel, and with that comes the extra cost. Don't go blow up the comments, oh, this is way too expensive, because they put a lot of care into this keyboard. I know the original one's coming in at 110 or 120. The switches are like double the price for Zeal switches. It would have been cool if they added in some Zeal stabilizers in here as well. That would have been like, wow, I would have been so impressed. Maybe that's something for them to consider in the future, but that would affect the price. All right guys, so that's gonna do it for the OneofZero Iodine Edition Ducky keyboard featuring the Zeal switches. I really like this keyboard. If you have a chance, 9:30 a.m., pick one of these up. They're gonna be super limited and you do not wanna miss out on this. All right guys, it has been your boy BT. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.